Hey everyone, this is Mr. Everything, and I wanted to do a video showing how to straight lace your shoes. I'm not sure if people still do that anymore, but it's pretty simple. I just thought, if you don't know, like if you're a person that never knew how to tie your shoes, that seems like a lot of work, but then once you pick it up, it's nothing. Straight lacing's almost the same thing. I mean, it might seem weird, but I'm sure there's other methods to it, and maybe mine's not right, but you can obviously see here what this looks like and what it doesn't. I have these basketball shoes. I keep, these are my nicer pair. You really don't want to straight lace a shoe like this. It just looks stupid in my opinion, and you're left with a lot more excess string. So let me move this one out of the way. I'll just undo this one because this one will be a little quicker. Okay, so now that I got the strings out of all the little holes or eyelets or whatever you consider, just pretend it was this shoe and this is how you got it. So you remove those laces, and now the first thing that you would want to do is stretch these out and make sure they are even, because it just makes things easier. Obviously you can't see that on camera, but take my word, I have them even. So for the first one, as you can see here, I just moved it up on this side under to that one, and then you just go across. And you'll want to keep these even, or at least I do, because I kind of have OCD about it, and it looks nicer this way. Because with this type of shoe and the way you're lacing it, you really don't want to have to retie it. You just want to keep it tied together and then loose. And how this is going to work is every other one of these, so like you skip a hole, the second one will be the one that moves up, if that makes any sense here. So instead of running that one, you don't go directly into the next, you skip that hole. And you might want to manage how your strings, if they're overlapping or anything. I might do that off camera if it comes out a little wrong, but for demonstration purposes, just make sure these are out of the way. Yeah, it's been a while since I've had a shoe like this. I remember I had a pair of Etnies like back in 2005 when they were still cool, or if they're even around now, I don't know. And I had someone, I think, straight lace them for me, and then I eventually just figured it out by trying. And then since then, I think I've had just a few pairs of skate shoes like this. I might just wear out to play, but I haven't really had any recently. I was looking for more of an athletic shoe, but they're just, the ones they had were so flimsy and felt like just like a sock, and the cushion was nice, but the heel of it was just like so slippery it was kind of useless. Try and keep that a little more even. I actually thought that I was messing up a little bit, but I'm still even with my length here, so if you do mess it up, which I'm probably going to redo this anyway after the video, this is just to kind of show you the idea of how it works, but if you even do mess it up, it really doesn't matter, because no one can see it. Once you lift the tongue up, you can just see the outside anyway, so it's not a big deal. Like you would want to run this one inside then. Try and keep everything on the same side. And you can see you're left with a lot of extra string here. So for this type of shoe, again, I don't want to have to tie it. I want just a quick slip on. So I would just say tie it under the tongue, but then you have this really long bow here. You could tie it a couple times, but then you're just left with a big knot. I would suggest just snipping it off if this is a shoe you don't want to have to retie, and then tuck it under the strings that are held down pretty good over here. It would be really handy if you had heat shrink. You could snip this off and kind of replace one of them, snip it down real short, put a little heat shrink on it, put some flame, and then you'd have a new tip. You can see the difference again. I'll take this off camera, do them both, and then show the finished product. Okay, I'm back. I pretty much have these set up how I wanted to. It definitely spent some more time, probably about 20 minutes. I went back and just made sure everything was even. And that might be kind of hard to translate over the camera, like how I'm doing this. It's kind of hard to explain. But the basic principle of it is, hopefully, if you can just watch it back, if it was zoomed in really close, like in slow motion, it might help it. You want to start the first one, whether you choose to do this side or that side. You move it up to this one underneath, and then go over. And then you don't run it over to the next one, because then this one doesn't have anywhere to go. So you'll skip and go to the next one, and then that one goes there. And then instead of this one going here, it goes up to here. And it's basically that concept. It's something you really can't miss, because once you're there, you'll realize why I have two on this side. So you'll get it. I chose to run mine up underneath here, because I guess you could tie it up here if you wanted, but that would kind of look dumb. And again, for the purpose of this shoe, I just want to slip on. So you'll notice I also just snipped the ends off of this. If I had the proper type of cap or whatever, I might just tape these or burn these, or I'll figure out something. And for you youngsters out there, the Hulkster doesn't want you to do this to your shoes. You know, if you just got a new pair of shoes for school or something, I wouldn't suggest cutting them. But again, these are just something just for me to have instead of wearing my nicer shoes all the time. You can either tie them, maybe like do a square knot if you want it permanently, which is just basically the first step of a regular shoelace knot twice, or you could do this just a regular shoelace knot and then tuck it under or something. But either way, this is what it should look like when it's done. Hopefully that helped you in some way. If people even still straight lace their shoes, I don't know. And if you do this, you'll definitely be the coolest kid in school until someone says, "Man, those shoes are dumb, man. You're not cool." And then everything comes crashing down for you, kind of like my channel now that I'm. Well, hopefully that taught you something, and I'm out. So you'll see me in the next one.